Hi there guys, today I'm going to do some Megaminx example solves. I average around 28, 29. Hopefully these are useful. I'm going to try and go in depth on everything I do and hopefully not go too fast either. So I've got the first scramble here. The first thing I notice when I look around is that this green star can go straight in to be correct with the red piece there. So that's quite useful. And then there's this blue piece here, which I'd probably put in at the end because it's close to the blue center. And then there's also this purple piece here, which I can put in with at the same time as the green piece because it would go adjacent here. And then there's also the yellow piece here, which is also close to its center, so I'd probably just do that at the end. In terms of first pairs, I see this pair here. If I just do an F like that, it will pair that up. So the first thing I do actually is probably do an F2 so that when I put in this purple star, it keeps these two paired. So if I go here, F, so if I do, I'd probably leave it here, do an R2 like that, then U2 prime, and then insert the purple edge like that, and then the green edge, and then this pair is formed. And then I do a D2 like that, and then put in the blue one. And before going around to solve the yellow, because I'm already in the right place, I'd probably just solve the pair like this. So I know it's in the back here, and I could do something like that, but I'd probably just do that, sort of like a B moves like that. And then I'd rotate around to put in the yellow. Whilst putting it in, I see there's a red, green here, that and that, those edges. So whilst putting it in, I'll kind of like look around here to see if any of those pieces are there. And then, yeah, so the red and green pieces are there. To solve this, I'd probably do like a BL move like that, rotate, and then solve it like this. And whilst doing that, I noticed this pair just paired up, so I'd rotate and solve that. Then I can see this pair here is one move to being solved, and then I can insert it like that. And then I don't know where my final two pieces are, so I'll sort of rotate. I can see one's down here, and I know the other piece is nowhere around here because I've seen it all, so I'll sort of bring this slot up like this, so the slot's now here, and then I see this is probably the piece here, so I just do that. And I would probably solve this case something like this. And then, yeah, that is F2L done. First thing I notice is this edge here. I'm not sure what color, if it's orange or green next. I always do the same S2L start, so I always start on yellow. But I also see this pair here, so if I rotate, and now I see it's green, I know I can solve it. I can do a U2 R2, solve it like that. But I also know this pair here, if I'm doing here, it's already paired up, so if I just do an extra U, it will go in like that. Then I see this piece and this piece, compare it like that. And then I'd probably solve it like this. And then this piece here, I saw, as I was solving it, I saw it in the back here. So I'd go a B move, and then I'd probably cancel into solving this, into making this into a pair, because this piece here can be made into a pair like that. And then I'd solve it like this. Then I see the purple here and the green here, and these two here. I'd probably solve these two first. My first initial thought was to do an F move, and then put the green in, and make that the edge, doing some sort of pseudo blocks. But it is probably better to just solve this first, so I'd go ahead and solve it like that. Then I saw this piece here is probably the purple one, because I'm not really sure how I knew that, but it is. So I'd sort of do like a setup move to turn this into a pair, and then I'd solve this pair, and then undo the setup move like that. Now for this, I see these three pieces. I'd insert the red first like this, and then make a pseudo block with this red and green, or pseudo pair, not really sure what to call them. Then this corner here and this edge here, I'd set up like that, and solve. This pair, I see these three pieces next. The way I'd probably solve this, which I think is kind of bad, I'd make this the edge, and then just do triple sexy. And then as I'm doing the F move to put this down, I notice this corner here, so I do a U move to make sure it doesn't get stuck, and then do these two pieces. Then I do the last two pieces whilst avoiding a dot OLL case, like that. Then I do OLL, then I do PLL. Oh my god, that was terrible. But yeah, that's first example solve. Okay, so for the second solve here, the first thing I notice when looking around is that this corner is already paired with its edge and the other edge is down here. So my first initial thought is that I should probably do an L move like that to preserve it so I can put this in later. I also see this red and yellow here, so the yellow can be put in one move at the end and the red just needs to do a D2 prime to get to its right place. Then I also see the blue here and I also see the green edge here. So I can see I can put the green in adjacent to the red right away. So I'd probably, and I can see the blue can probably go in at the end. So I'd probably start off by doing F2 like that, and then an L to bring this edge up. Then I'd do a D2 prime, then insert the yellow, and then I do, to get this in here without having to rotate and do that, I'd probably just do an F prime and insert it like this. And then I'd go back and insert the blue, which is here. And as I was rotating, I saw this corner here. And I know the edge is here, so I just insert it like that. And then I see this pair here. So I do, to solve this pair here, I'd probably go like something like this. And then I know the yellow-blue corner is here from when I was solving earlier. And I know the edge is here, so I'd probably rotate like this. Do a U to F, and then insert like this. And I see my final edges here. I only just saw where the corner was. In this situation, it's kind of awkward. I want to stay around this sort of rotation for the yellow S2L. So I'd probably end up doing something like rotating to greens on top, doing that, and then bringing up the slot like that to solve it. And I see the green is just here, so I just insert that right away. And I see the other edges here. Because I didn't see any full pairs yet, or didn't notice any yet, I'd probably just go ahead and insert it. I'd probably make sure this corner doesn't get stuck by doing that. And I haven't actually seen any pair yet, but I saw the corner was here. This is kind of a bad pair. I'd probably solve it first anyway, because it's better to solve something than solve nothing. So I'd just take out like this. And to insert this pair here, what I would do is this, which is quite nice. And then as I was rotating, I saw this corner is also solved and this edge is here. So I'd probably bring it up so I don't have to do an awkward rotation down, and then solve it like this. And now I've got no idea where my last edge is. It could be this one because there's green there, and I haven't seen it elsewhere yet. So yeah, it is that one. I'd probably do a slight rotate down just to make sure. I'd solve it like this, and then insert like that. And then for purple, I've not seen the edge yet, so I'd just do the beam. I know the purple one is not this edge, so it must be this one here, because this is not the right blue one, this is not the right blue one. So it must be one of these two. So I'd probably do like that to keep this one in the layer. And here, and now I see this sort of pair, so I'd insert the green like that to solve this block here, and then I just solve this pair. And then I also notice this pair here, and before doing the F move to solve that block, I'd probably cancel into solving it like this. And then for the green S2L, I notice this too as a pair here, and I know this must be the green because all the other creams are here and here. So I'd probably preserve this sort of pair by going U2 and then bringing the green up. And then I'd solve the green and then solve the pair. And then this pair here is kind of awkward, but I just solve it with F moves like that. And then before putting it down, to make sure this edge doesn't get stuck, I just do a U. And then I saw this pair down here whilst I was solving them all. So whilst inserting the red, I'll then straight away go into inserting that. And I see this pair here, so I'd solve that. Then I see the red corner in the back and the cream edge here, so I'd solve it like that. I do not know .OLL, so I'd probably somewhat trying to force a better OLL. It's probably bad, but I just do that. And then I'd solve OLL, and then I'd solve PLL. And that is solve number 2. Okay, so for solve number 3, my first thing I see is that the purple's already in, and this red can go where it should be in comparison to it in just one move there. And then I also see that if I insert this yellow, so if I just insert the yellow, this green would be one move to be inserted in. And the blue is over here, and I can probably just deal with that later. And in terms of first pairs, near the blue is this and this, and I know it won't be affected too much. It'll only be affected when I'm solving the blue, which I can look ahead to. So if I start off by inserting the red, and then inserting the yellow in adjacent to them, like that, and then inserting the green, then I rotate over, solve the blue like this, and I know the corner's moved up here, so I can just do a U2, and then this pair is made, and then I rotate and solve it. And then I saw this blue corner back here, and I know it's blue and yellow because if it was blue and red, the blue would be here on the corner. So I'd move it up because I know the edge is here. Sort of a bad pair, but I'd solve it like this. And then I see these two here, and I'd solve them like this. And then I'd rotate and do that. Then I see this blue-red here, and I see this green-purple. I'm not 100% sure where the others are, but I know I saw the purple and green back here somewhere. So I'd move back, and then I see it here, so I'd do a one-move pair like this. Then I'd rotate and solve it. And the only place where I haven't looked for pieces is around this area here. So whilst rotating now, I'd move the piece with it. Unfortunately, this kind of makes a bad pair when I found the piece. But to solve it, I would just do that. And then that. And then I see the green and yellow here, so I'd probably just solve these like this. And then I saw the green and blue edge was down there, so I'd move the green and blue corner, sorry, is down there. And so I just solve it like this. Then I'd move this corner up in here just so it's in the right layer. And then I found, because I hadn't seen the edge yet, if I had seen the edge quicker, I would have probably solved it like that. But if I hadn't seen the edge, I would probably just moved it up anyway and solved it like this. And then I know the final corner's in there, so I'd solve it again like this. And then I see this pair here, so I just solve it like this. And I see the final corner down here. So I'd rotate here, do an F, a U, and then do R2U, R2 prime. And then for the green, I see the edges here, so I'd solve it, and then I see a pair here. So I'd do an F2 and solve the pair like that. And while solving, I saw this corner here and this edge here, so I'd solve them like this. And then these three pieces are quite nice, so I'd use this edge here as the edge down here, and I know whilst putting that in that this will form a pair, so I can go straight into that. Then I see this here, I'd probably use L moves, even though I try to avoid them, and then I see this here, and then OLL, and then PLL.